With the lock of the night slump that we're on, obviously the Locky Trinity and Locky two-step will suffer. And that was the case this past weekend as Louis Gurul had a solid first round, but ultimately got hit from a counter after a very lazy leg kick that ultimately opened up the counter for Ode Osborne and knocked out Louis Gurul. So that rips up our ticket, even though Victor Henry went out there and did what he was supposed to do, and Diani Barbosa made it look as easy as the odds indicated. But unfortunately, Louis Gurul is the one that spoils our party there. So trying to get back on track here. Hasn't been the best run. This, especially March, was horrible for Lock of the Night plays, specifically with the UFC. You know, on the regional shows and the other shows, we didn't do too bad, but we really got to get it together for this UFC side of things. And I'm hoping that the combination that I've selected for this week's Locky Trinity and Locky Two-Step is the one to get off out of this slump. Let's see if we can cash this ticket. So let's get right into it. First step up in the Locky two-step is going to be Gene Silva. Now, I know there's a lot of love out there for Bryce Mitchell. I'm seeing a lot of people jumping on that train there, trying to get the value on Mitchell. Obviously, we've seen the line on Gene Silva jump from, minus 350, drop all the way down to about minus 200, minus 250. And I understand it. I see the grappling angle that they're trying to lean on, specifically that Charles Jourdain fight for Gene Silva. But a lot of people are overlooking the fact that even though Jourdain landed 3 takedowns, he was only able to secure about 1 minute and 15 seconds of control time, and then ultimately ended up getting knocked out in the second round of that matchup. And I'm expecting a similar thing to happen here because Gene Silva is very hard to hold down. I think Bryce Mitchell will struggle with the athleticism disadvantage he'll be at, and ultimately leading to Gene Silva getting the space he needs on the feet to land that big shot and put Bryce Mitchell away. Hence why I'm trusting him here as the first step in the Locky two-step. The second step might be seen as very risky for a lot of people here, but feeling damn good about it here. We're going to have to trust in the former featherweight kingpin and hopefully newly crowned featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski as he takes on Diego Lopez. I feel like we've seen this situation in the past for Volkanovski. I think it was the Brian Ortega fight where the line was a little bit closer than a lot of people were expecting it to be, and we saw what Volk was able to do to Ortega. Now, I get it. Diego Lopez is much better than Brian Ortega at this stage, but people overlook, the shortcomings in Lopez's career, and, he's on a solid winning streak right now, but there is a clear difference between Alexander Volkanovski and the guys that he's been beating as of late. I think Volkanovski has taken the necessary time off, and I don't think Lopez has crazy knockout power similar to what Ilia Topuria was able to put Volkanovski through last year. So I think we'll see Volkanovski give us a classic Volk performance, utilizing a ton of footwork, output, good game planning as well, maybe even getting some takedowns going, as we know his submission defense is very high level. And I think he slowly breaks down Lopez and either gets that late finish or wins this fight on the scorecards. But as long as he gets his hand raised and as long as Gene Silva does the damn thing as well, we're able to cash our Locky two-step, which I was able to lock in earlier this week at plus 156. Obviously, significant movement on Bryce Mitchell has now brought that line down. But also, on the flip side, we did get some love on Volkanovski coming in. You are able to now lock it in at plus 153. So slightly better earlier this week, but roughly the same. Now for the Locky Trinity. I'm not a big fan of this fighter, but I feel like she has a good enough stylistic matchup here as Nora Cornell takes on Haley Cowan. Now, Cowan, in my opinion, is a solid athletic fighter with, maybe not fighter, but solid athlete with a gymnastics background. And we've often seen her utilize her physicality to bully opponents in the clinch, try to take them to the ground and overwhelm them there. But I think she's going to struggle to do that here against Cornell, who has clearly improved that aspect of her game. And we know she has a Muay Thai advantage here, and I think that will allow her to put together much more damage than Cowan as Cowan tries to look for spaces that she can rest. I don't think she's going to get it here as Cornell batters her and eventually wins this fight on the scorecards, but hopefully cashing for us as a Locky Trinity spot here, which I was able to lock in earlier at plus 307. Now you can get plus 294. Some action coming in on Cornell, making her a slightly bigger favorite than she was when I locked her in earlier this week. Let's hope this one comes through. It's been a bad slump, but I feel pretty good about this one. But I did say that for the other ones. So we'll see how this one fares come Saturday night. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. I'll be back later today. I'm still deciding on whether I should drop this on Thursday or Friday, recording this Thursday evening, but I have my LFA breakdown dropping right now as well. So I don't want those to step on each other's toes. So I'll probably drop this Friday afternoon. So I'll see you guys later today for the UFC 314 prop drop. See you then. Peace.